Hello everybody, welcome to today's video brought to you by iCode Academy. In this video, we're going to be talking about coding for EKGs. Let's get started. Common question that we see is, how do I code for an EKG? Here we can see a provider who has determined they need to place an order as well as complete an electrocardiogram. An electrocardiogram may be referred to as an EKG or an ECG. As a medical coder, once you see the completed documentation within the healthcare record for an electrocardiogram or an EKG, we do have 3 code options available to us within our CPT book. These codes include 93000, 93005, and 930110. Key notation here as a medical coder is we should not be appending modifier 26 or modifier TC to these procedure codes, as this is included and reflected within the code description itself. Let's take a look at a few examples on how these codes would play out in real-world situations. CPT code 93000 is a global code. This means that the code includes the use of the equipment, the interpretation by the physician, as well as the completed report. One tip to note here is this is going to be the code used when the billing provider who completes the interpretation and report also owns the equipment or the machine. Next, we have CPT code 93005. This code is going to be used when an organization owns the machine. You can see here that we do not have the component of an interpretation or a completed report from a physician. This may be a separate organization that owns the machine than the organization that is completing the EKG. Last but not least, we have CPT code 93010. This code is to be used by the provider who completes the interpretation and report. Let's take a look at Dr. Anderson. Dr. Anderson owns her own private practice in which she completes electrocardiograms on a regular basis. As she owns the equipment, as well as completes her interpretation and reports, it would be completely appropriate for her to bill 93000 for her EKG services. In example number 2, you can see that we have an operating room. The patient is needing an EKG prior to their surgery. A nurse who works for a large hospital organization is going to complete the technical component of the EKG. In this situation, the organization would bill 93005 for the technical element of the nurse completing the EKG service. After the nurse has completed the EKG in the operating room, it is sent over to a provider to complete an interpretation and report. The provider who completes the interpretation and report is going to appropriately code 93010 for his or her services. On behalf of iCode Academy, where we are developing advanced iCoders with a trained eye, I want to thank you for tuning in today's video. See you next time.